For the last month or so, we have been avoiding the cold weather in New Jersey by staying in southern Florida. But today we are staying at our friends at Copasquat, one of our favorite boondockers welcome site. And it is our base to head out for an adventure along the Gulf Coast of Florida and Texas. And we hope that you'll come along with us on Miles and Smiles. On this Gulf Coast adventure, we're going to be staying in a variety of different places. When some people think of RVing, they think just of a traditional campground. Full hookups, campers side by side. It might be in one environment or another, but basically it's a place where you spend anywhere between $20 and $120 a night to stay side by side with other campers. And we definitely do that. But on this trip, we're going to be staying in a variety of places. As you saw, we started at a boondockers welcome site at the homes of our friends Weldon and Debbie at Copasquat. Then we're going to move on to a state park, a special boondocking site that is a little bit unusual, another boondockers welcome, a county park, and finally a commercial campground when we get to Houston. After that, who knows? We just arrived and set up camp at Topsail Hill State Park, which is near Santa Rosa Beach on the Gulf of Mexico in the panhandle of Florida. This is another beautiful, beautiful Florida state park. You can see that the campsites are tropical, they are large. We've got a beautiful big space to be on with our dogs. And so one of the first things we do when we get to a new campground is often take the dogs for a walk and explore and see what there is to see here. How would you like to spend your afternoon? Playing shuffleboard or swimming in the pool? This is pretty unusual. A state park with a coffee shop. They sell coffee, smoothies, chai, and beer. So we're enjoying breakfast at the Kith and Kin Cafe. Kathy, how is it?
It's delicious.
What did you get?
I got a bacon, egg, and cheese roll, warmed up, and an oat milk latte. Right. It was hard to choose, though. They have some other good-looking things there, too.
And I'm having the same thing, and the nice thing is, these guys can come along with us.
And have a bite of their own.
One of the things we like to do when we get to a new area is get on our bikes and explore. And today, from Topsail Hill State Park, we're headed to the beach. How's the water?
A bit cold. Feels refreshing on my hands, but...
Not ready to go in for a swim?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Surfer out here.
This is some prime real estate right here on the beach.
The sand on this beach is so fine. It's finer than sugar. And it squeaks when you walk on it.
We are at a restaurant called Goat Feathers. And goat feathers does actually mean something. I'm going to have to read it. Goat feathers are the distractions, sidelines, and deflections that take a man's attentions from his own business and keep him from getting ahead. And that's a quote by a person, Ellis Parker Butler, back in 1913. And for some reason, they chose to name this restaurant Goat Feathers.
So our shrimp and grits just arrived at the table, and take a look at this. And some hush puppies, and we both got the shrimp and grits. What do you think?
Looks delicious.
It's after dinner. We are full and satisfied with that wonderful shrimp and grits. Decided to walk down to the beach, and it is really kind of mystical. It's beautiful in a weird kind of way because the beach is largely fogged in. It's beautiful. Well, you would think after that yummy dinner that we just want to go home and go to sleep, but as it turns out, I've been doing a little research about what some people say is the best ice cream in this area around Topsail Park, and we are going to where, Kathy?
Pecan Jacks, it's called.
Pecan Jacks, because it's ice cream. Good. Well, we're getting ready to leave Florida and head into Mobile, Alabama today. Not a very long drive. I am really glad that after spending a month or two in Florida, that our last few nights are here at a Florida State Park. The Florida State Parks are just consistently wonderful places to stay. They are well maintained, they are well placed, they are affordable, and we just love them. This guy is interrupting my... Yeah. So, you've seen us stay at Cracker Barrels and at Walmart's, but this is the first time we've ever stayed at a Bass Pro Shop parking lot. Yeah, Bass Pro Shops are well known in the RV community for allowing RVers to park overnight in their spacious and nicely cared for parking lots. So why would anybody want to stay in a Bass Pro Shop parking lot? Well, to be honest, one of the biggest reasons is it's free. We just needed a place to stop for a night while we're traveling from one destination to another. And this is a safe, easy place to stop. It's right off the highway. RVers are welcome, and we had a chance to do a little bit of shopping when we first got here. We can do this largely because we are a self-contained RV. We carry up to 100 gallons of water with us. We have a generator for electricity and house batteries to carry us through the night. We have propane to run our refrigerator and our stove. And although we're the only people here right now, last night there were 5 other RVs parked near us. Yeah, we are not early starters. When you're staying in a parking lot of a business like this, there are some courtesy rules that are largely unwritten, but very important. One, this is not camping. Don't set up your tables and your lawn chairs and your barbecue grills. 2, leave it as clean as you found it. And 3, it's not a campground. When you're ready to go in the morning, get going. They need these parking spaces for their customers. And of course, the biggest concern for our dogs is that they can find a little patch of grass. We are in Mobile, Alabama, staying at a boondockers welcome site called the Steel Magnolias. And our hosts, Travis and Kathy, could not be more generous and friendly and wonderful. And look at this site right on a river. This is a really great place for a free camping spot. Boondockers Welcome is RVers helping other RVers by letting you stay on their property for anywhere from 1 to 5 nights if you're part of that club. And we have just found some of our most wonderful places. Hey, this is not fancy, but it is free, and there is so much nearby here, and we are looking forward to a great day exploring the city of Mobile when it also happens to be Mardi Gras. We've arrived in Mobile, found some parking, and right away we're running into one of the Mardi Gras parades. So it seems like this is pretty much the end of the parade because they are throwing off bags of stuff. The Kids are having a ball throwing out gifts to everybody along the parade route. We're going to try to catch a whole parade later.
Just amazing sewing, artwork of all sorts. It must take all year just to make one of those.
They throw all kinds of things from the floats, including the traditional moon pie. And let me tell you, they're delicious. What are we waiting for here, Kath?
The parade.
The parade is coming. Let the good times roll. This is crazy!
Yeah,
That's fun! Wow!
Wow,
Never done anything like this!
coming and coming.
Woo! Seems like the people here in Mobile, by the way, I've been saying Mobile, but it's Mobile, are also really proud of the fact that their Mardi Gras is not quite like the one in New Orleans. There's no people, lifting their shirts and flashing themselves. This is a family event. Last night we pulled into the Far Park Campground and Horse Activity Center just outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, near the Louisiana State University campus. And this is a very different kind of campground. It's a municipal campground. We have learned over the years that one of the little gems that you can find all over the country are city and county campgrounds. They are almost always beautifully maintained. They are a source of local pride, and they're usually pretty affordable. Here it's $30 a night for water and electric. There is no sewer hookup, although they do have a dump station that you can use for $10 on your way out. It's beautiful rural area. There are horses grazing nearby, and as you can see, there's hardly anybody else here. So today we're gonna put the car in gear, put the dogs in the RV, and we're gonna head into Baton Rouge and see what there is to see. When you ask people what you should do while you're in Baton Rouge, the very first thing they always say is, you should eat. And we are going to get to that. And then the next thing they say is, you really need to see the old state capitol building. This building was erected after the original state capitol building was destroyed by federal soldiers during the Civil War. And they did a beautiful job of this. Wow. In 1803, Napoleon Bonaparte sold the Louisiana Purchase to Thomas Jefferson, not just Louisiana, but all of the green area here, all of the land that drained the Mississippi River for $15 million. What would that be worth today? The Old State Capitol Museum has a lot of fascinating exhibits, everything from the architecture of the building to exploring the legacy of the Civil Rights era and of very controversial former Governor Huey Long. There are not a lot of things you can take great video of in there, but I can say this for sure, it is worth a visit, and it's free. Just across the street from the old State House is the Capitol Grill, where we started off with an appetizer of Bowden balls, and I forgot to video that, but there's a still picture here. So what did you get?
Pecan redfish, which is a very common dish in this part of the world, apparently. Looks delicious. Eager to try it, but I want to taste of yours too.
Ah, so you want a taste of mine. Well, I got Louisiana etouffee with crawfish and a few good-looking hush puppies. You gotta eat in Baton Rouge. Now, the Bowden balls, which we've been hearing a lot about, or Bowden in general, I gotta say, for those of you who are from the Pennsylvania Dutch area, the closest comparison that I can come up with for what they taste like, it's scrapple. They are basically scrapple balls. or I guess sometimes it's in a casing like a sausage. But again, you've got kind of low-income people taking all of the meat and weird parts they can get off of the pig. They add spices, they add some rice or some corn or whatever it is they've got handy, and they make something delicious. I think they were pretty good.
Yeah, now these days they do it for upper class restaurants too, and they get rid of the casings and they deep fry them.
If you're a football fan, or I assume a basketball fan, then you know that Louisiana State University is the home of the Tigers. What you might not know is that they have a real tiger, and they've built a habitat for it here on the campus. By the way, I didn't know that. I'm really not much of a sports fan, so I just read about it. Grrr.
Grrr! Go Tigers!
Well, we made it to Houston, and I want to show you a completely different kind of RV park. This is not the kind of place you usually see us in. We're usually, surrounded by trees, tropical jungle, but as you can see right behind me, there's the overhead highway. The parking spots here, it's pretty much a beautiful, but just a parking lot with hookups for RVs. And you might wonder, well, why would we stay in a place like this? And the answer is quite simple. Location, location, location. We are only about 30 minutes from the Houston Rodeo, which we went to see last night. And we're only about 15 minutes from the Rodeo Space Center, which we're going to today. It's an urban RV park. And sometimes it's not about the campground, it's about being able to find a secure, safe place to stay that's got good hookups, level campsites, and access to the things that you want to see while you are traveling. The name of this park is USA RV, and they have all the amenities, including a heated swimming pool, which, well, we haven't had a chance to use, laundry, a nice little store, very friendly staff that were so helpful to us, and actually are the ones who told us that there was going to be a rodeo and inspired our being able to go and get the tickets. As I said, last night we went to the Houston Rodeo, and it is really something. Here are just a few of the highlights. The old saying is, this isn't my first rodeo, but this is my first rodeo here in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Woo! We are at Space Center Houston, and we are getting ready for the first of 2 tram rides we're going to take today. This one is going out to the Johnson Space Center, and I am a big space buff and pretty excited about all of this. Behind me is the only certified existing Saturn V space rocket, and it is enormous. You want to see how big the engines are on this Saturn V? This is the actual mission control room from the Apollo space missions. I am shaken. It's so exciting for me to be here.
Okay, attitude, roll 25.10, pitch 64.18.
We are inside the mock-up of the space shuttle. Not a real space shuttle, but a mock-up for us to see what it might have been like to travel on this amazing machine. And in case you were wondering, we were going to end at the beach south of Houston. Well, the weather conspired to make that not a good choice. We would be at a beach right now, and as you can see, if you look around you, it is raining. It is 42 degrees, and so we have ended up at the Lake Conroe 1000 Trails instead of the Magnolia Beach on the Gulf Coast, and I think this is the better choice, having full hookups and our heaters and all of that stuff while we're here. And that's part of RVing. You know, first of all, there are lots of different ways to RV, and you've seen a wide selection of campgrounds on this adventure that all have their benefits and all have their liabilities. It depends where you are and what you're trying to do. And you have to have flexibility. Sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate. Sometimes your health doesn't cooperate. Sometimes the RV itself doesn't cooperate, and being flexible and able to roll with the punches makes RVing a whole lot more fun and for long-term doing like we are. So here we are in cold, cold Lake Conroe, Texas, reminding you that if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Better yet, subscribe. We really love your comments. So please leave your comments, questions, whatever down below. We try our best to respond to every single one. And remember, life's a journey. Make every mile count. Tucker. Sit.